The Acolyte episode 6. Let's talk about it. Okay, so episode 6 is now out of The Acolyte. Now, last week's episode, I thought had great action, but the rest of it was kind of bad writing and etc. Well, we've talked about it. Coming into this one, this was the episode where I was either going to continue watching the show or I was just going to stop. I was at that point where I'm just like, this is so bad, I'm just going to cut right there. However, something happened in this episode that I have been waiting for forever. What I thought the show was going to be about was about the Sith. This episode, to me, is the best episode of the whole entire series. Even though we had that cool action lightsaber fight, that's cool and all, but this is the episode that makes me want to continue watching. All because of the stuff that involves Manny's character. We get to start to dive into his ideology. We get to dive into him as a Sith. We get to see what his motivations are. What does he truly want? We get to see him be a Sith, manipulate, drop the breadcrumbs, talk in riddles. That is what I have been waiting for this show. This show I was told that this show was going to be like a Sith show. This was going to follow the Sith, the Acolyte. It's about the Sith and him having an Acolyte, an apprentice, building that up. I thought we were going to dive into that. And then, all those episodes come in and it just became a Jedi show like we've always had. But this episode, man, I am so intrigued in what Manny's character is, who he is, what is his backstory, the scar on his back, how did he get that? We know he wants the power of two, which is the rule of two. He wants an apprentice so he can, have that. He's so intriguing. He is easily now the best character in the show and the one that I'm invested in. And him with Osha and his conversation with her. How you can write a conversation and a great part with him and Osha, and yet the rest of this show is just garbage writing, is outstanding to me. How this actually happens. I'm astonished by how this actually happens. I don't know how they do this, because everything in this episode regarding the Jedi is crap. It is. It's just crap. The writing, the dialogue, everything about it. I'm sitting there like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is just horrible. The stuff with Basil, horrible. Like, what is even the point? Like, we spent so much time there doing that crap. It takes Soul forever to figure out who this is. Bro, Manny's character figured out that this is Osha straight away. He wasn't dancing around it. He knew straight away. You could tell so many times that this was not Osha. And how Soul didn't know until the very end there is just mind-blowing. And then you have the actress who plays the Jedi that is all green. Oh, man. Nepotism at its best here. Nepotism at its best. I'm sorry. You could have gone out there, got a plank of wood and painted it green and you'd get the same performance. It is horrendous. The line delivery is awful. The expression is awful. Just everything about it is just awful. It's like watching paint dry. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, this is boring. Can we get back to Manny, please? Can we get back to him? And then you watch Manny's performance and dude, he is now carrying the show for me. He is the only thing I care about. And his performance is great. He was great last week as well. Like, I'm loving him as the villain here. I'm loving him as the Sith. We shouldn't have taken 6 episodes to get to this point. We should never have got to this point in 6 episodes. We should have been episode 1 talking about this guy. We should have been following him. The Jedi should have been the side character. He should be the main character with his acolyte, with his apprentice that he's training up. That's the intriguing story part. That's what we all want to see. We want to see what's going on here. We want to see him manipulate his way. That's what we wanted to see. And then you've got the stuff with the Jedi Council crap, and it's just awful. And look, I just find it so hilarious. Like, I mean hilarious. Their ship all of a sudden comes back online, and guess what? Oh, Sol doesn't wait for him or anything like that. He just turns off the transmitter and he just zooms out of there. And as soon as he hits hyperspace, guess what? The other ship comes in. The Jedi ship comes in. Are you kidding me right now? They literally just left. They've been trying to reach him. And all of a sudden, they've just left. And they have now all of a sudden appeared at the same time that he leaves. It's just... man, hurts my brain when I think about that. I just don't get it. I really don't, because, bro, when I'm watching the stuff with Manny, it looks gorgeous. It looks really good. It's shot beautifully. It doesn't look cheap. And then when you see him, he has that aura. You feel like, okay, this guy's a Sith Lord here. And you see him manipulating and dancing around sort of things to try and get Osha to maybe come back to come to the dark side. And I love that moment where he's sitting there, and this is the Sith right here and there, where he grabs the lightsaber and tells her, go on, ignite it. Ignite it. Give in to the hate. Give in to your anger. And, I love how he's discussing the dark side. Like, there's emotions deep down that are powerful. Anger, fear, loss. I just love that stuff. That is what I want to see. I've always wanted to dive into the Sith a lot more. I think they are more interesting characters than the Jedi. And we've had so much Jedi. I want to see more of this. And Manny standing there with the lightsaber there, holding it as Osha's there, and he's telling her, ignite it, do it, give in to the thing. In typical dark side fashion, in Sith fashion. And then when she ignites it and pushes it to him, and he's there, and he's like, oh, it's just, I just don't get it. I just don't get it, how you have such good stuff with him and everything else is garbage. And I'm sorry, these 30-minute long episodes do not work. They just don't work. Like, it just ends. It abruptly ends when she puts on the helmet. It just ends like that. And I'm just sitting there like, are we serious right now? You're just going to end it like that? It still felt like there was another 20 minutes that I needed for this episode. It just feels like it just got going, and then all of a sudden it just ends. So I just wish Disney would get rid of this 30-minute mark and just give us like the full 45, 50-minute mark, like House of the Dragon. You watch House of the Dragon, and it feels like a full episode. Where this feels like I'm watching half episode and then half of the other episode the following week. Like, it's frustrating. It really is. But Manny's made it interesting for me. I am now going to continue watching. I was about to give this show up. I really was. But now I'm interested in the Manny stuff. That his character and his ideology and the Sith ideology and that is what has saved it for me. And now I'm more interested in him. And I want to see more. I hope that we don't just drop it and go back to the Jedi stuff. Because I want to know more about his backstory. I want to know everything about him. I want to know all that. To me, the best part, easily, of the whole entire series is that segment with him. So let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Did you guys love it? Smash it down in the comment section below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.